Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on a jumper, but I'm going to be showing you how I put it together step by step. For a jumper, they either call it an overall or a boiler suit. Alright, so come along with me over to the table and I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright guys, so this is the pocket that I did on one half of the trousers. So this is a single welt pocket. I went ahead and marked this pocket out. My measurement from the side is 2 inches in. From the top, 1.5 inches. And the length of my pocket is 7 inches. The width here is 1.25 inches. Next step is to find the center. To find the center, you can just, it's 1.25 inches, so what you can do is just you can put that together if you're not sure what the measurement are for the center. And you just mark that. Alright, so when you finish marking that, you take your ruler and you can join that together from one end to the next. Right, and you have that center line. Alright, so once you have that center line, what we're going to do here is create a V right into the corner on both sides. So you can either eyeball that, or you can take your ruler and you can just mark. Right, and that's what you need. The next step, I'm gonna seam this line that I mark straight down the middle. All I did, just press it right between here where the pocket is gonna be. And all I want to do is find the line, the straight line on the opposite side. Alright, so I'm gonna put that aside. So the next thing I'm going to do is get this piece of material, and this piece of material measures 7 by 10. I'm going to measure in 2 inches. Alright, so when you finish making this line, what you do next is measure down 1.5 inches. You're going to measure in 1.25 inches. So that's your measurement here. And then the next thing you're going to do to finish this off is measure your length 7 inches. To find your center, you can always put the seams, the marking here together very easily. Alright, and once you do that, you can see where your center seam is right along here. So now you can go ahead and mark it. Alright, the next step, we're going to create the V in these 4 corners. Alright, so now you have your line out for your welt pocket. Remember what we did here, and press the seam in the center. Now you can go ahead, you can mark the 7 inches. Also take your tape measure and measure to make sure you have the measurement right, which is 7 inches. Alright, so on the right side, now we're going to take this right side together and we're going to put them together like this, but not before you know which side we are going to turn this. Remember, the welt pocket, we're going in from the side, so the welt itself has to be from the left over, if that makes sense, from the center over. So you're going to have the bigger side facing the center and the shorter side facing the side seam. Alright, so this is your center here, your center seam. I already marked that. So what you do next is this marking with the 7 inches end. You line it up with this mark and that mark right in the seam here. After that, you can go ahead and open it out and you can pin. So once you have this pin like that, you go on the machine and you stitch all the way around this rectangle. Alright, so this is the stitching finish. The next step is to cut from this point of the triangle to that point of the triangle. Alright, so you have that opening. V that you created here, you cut on that line straight into the corner, and you do the same thing on the other end. Alright, so when you're done, your piece should look like this. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take the whole thing. You're gonna take the whole thing and you're gonna put it through the opening that you created. And you're gonna bring that onto the wrong side. What I like to do here is open these seams. Alright, so when you're finished with that, you take your finger and you just slightly press it down. You see that just lay down nicely. Fold the big side over like so. Okay, you have your pocket this way. Okay, and you fold this over. At this point you can go ahead and pin that. All right, and you do the same thing for the bottom. What you want to see at this point, you want to see the V's on both sides. All right, so what I'm going to do is go to the machine and I'm going to stitch right along this line onto the same stitch that we did before. We're going to go right along this line and stitch here, and go right along this line and do the same thing on the opposite side. All right, you take your pins out, turn it onto the wrong side. At this point you can go ahead and press that so it stays as well. For this piece that we turn over, you're going to bring it back over right to the very end. That's where it's going to turn up to. That is why when you stitch this, you had to ensure that you stitch it from this point to that point. So when you turn this over, it stays right there. Right, so once you turn that, you're gonna create your welt pocket right away. Once you get the measurement, you know everything is all right. It measures 1.25 inches. You're happy with that. Then you can pin your welt. So what we're gonna do now is to go over this, and we're gonna stitch all the way around the welt pocket just like we did here. So all the way around we're gonna stitch. Alright, so this is the stitch I did around the pocket. Alright, so what I did, I overlocked this end facing the front and across the bottom. And this is the pocket. I also overlocked the outside here as well. You're going to take the half of your trousers and basically to cut this, all you need to do is just get a piece of the same fabric, place it down and you cut the shape of your pocket. That's basically it in an easy way. Alright, so next is take this and you're going to put it the right side to the wrong side right here, and you're going to place it exactly side to side. Make sure your sides are matching and the top is matching as well. Once you have that together, you go ahead and you pin these. Okay, and that's that. The next step is to go around the whole pocket and up the side and across the top and stitch. Alright, so I'm going to stitch across the top and down the sides, then I'm going to show you how I stitch around the pocket. Right, so I am at the end of the pocket here, as you can see. So I'm going to go down and end about 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch away from the pocket end here. So while I'm stitching this around, I'm going to be feeling my way to make sure that I'm staying approximately 1/4 of an inch away from the bottom of the pocket. Alright, and if I turn this onto the wrong side, you can see exactly it's about 1/4 of an inch away from the hem. Turn my work around and I'm going to give this a double stitch all the way around the pocket again. Alright, and this is the pocket complete. Alright, so these are the 2 pockets complete. I hope you enjoyed this short video. I'm going to be showing you step by step as I said before, and this is part 1 of making my jumpsuit. Like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video.